And so my next point, why you should begin content creation and why content creators are manifesting a lot easier and a lot quicker than you, is divine compensation. So what does that mean? I have the belief that anyone who finds a way to advance the kingdom, right, or move the kingdom forward in Christ in some way, right, will be abundantly provided for, highly favored, protected. And I say this is my belief because if you don't share in my belief, then this will be of no benefit to you. I'm grateful to have been taught the importance of this, adopting beliefs to achieve certain results. I think most of us are taught to reverse engineer the actions of individuals whose success we, want to emulate. But I think it's just as important to figure out and reverse engineer the belief systems of that individual as well. Because if you're both doing a strategy for sales, for example, but your beliefs, behind that strategy don't necessarily align with this person's belief behind that strategy, you're more than likely not going to get the same results, right? So keep that in mind as you navigate life. Similar results are easily achieved through similar thinking and similar beliefs. So again, you will be divinely compensated for advancing the kingdom in any way, shape, or form. Now, what does that look like? What does advancing the kingdom look like? That looks like inspiring, empowering, transforming a group of people, right? And being the reason that they walk that much closer to infinite intelligence. Now, what does walking closer to infinite intelligence look like? That looks like ultimate peace, ultimate joy, and expansion, right? So if you, as a content creator, are providing comfort and hope to a group of people, if you're helping a group of people get through their days a little easier, expanding the minds of a group of people to think bigger, dream bigger, if you're raising the standards of a group of people, raising their standards of living, raising their standards of what's good enough, if you're restoring the hearts of a group of people to receive and to project more love, more peace, more forgiveness, opening a group of people up to God level fulfillment, right? In whatever way that looks for you, this is your ticket to being eternally blessed. I think we all have really cool and unique gifts, and there are endless ways for us to package up these gifts and be of service to God. So this is what you're really doing as a content creator, right? And this is your mission. And if this is your mission, then it is divine will. Your bank accounts will be blessed. Your bloodline will become that much more blessed. Everything that you touch will become that much more abundant, that much more prosperous, because you're on a greater mission. It's not just about you anymore. You're not just focused on your own survival or your own desires, your own pleasure, your own level of fulfillment. You've got an entire tribe of people looking to you for something now. You've got an entire tribe of people looking to your content for something now, right? And it's not about how big that tribe is either. God doesn't care if you have 40 followers or 40 million followers. God is only paying attention to, and I truly believe this, God is only paying attention to how seriously you're taking your role. How seriously are you taking the role of inspiring those 40 people who follow you right now? How seriously are you taking the role of transforming the minds of the 1,200 people who follow you right now? Because the number of followers has jack to do with your level of financial abundance, by the way. Let's just make that clear. I used to hear it all the time before I got into this industry, but to truly see it with your own eyes is amazing. Like, there are content creators out here with less than 1,000 followers making multiple six figures a month with what they're offering to their people. And I truly believe that, they're making this much because they are taking their role seriously, and they have that raw desire to generously give exactly what it is that they know will transform their people, right? Like they're not being inconsiderate to their early bird supporters. They're not saying, oh, well, I don't have 10K followers yet, but I don't have 20K subscribers yet. How am I going to sell to only 200 people? That's not enough people yet. Maybe I should wait. Maybe I shouldn't be generous. Maybe I shouldn't add value to my community and nurture the relationships of the people who believe in me this early on. Not until I get more subscribers, not until I get more followers. Absolutely not. And then I remember always hearing about the content creators and the influencers with hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of subscribers who are struggling to make ends meet, right? And this doesn't automatically mean that, they're not taking their role as a content creator seriously, but it does mean that there's a disconnect somewhere. And I could go into that for a different episode, but there's definitely a disconnect. But I actually want to give the perfect example because this is more recent. So I think we've all heard about Gstaad guy and his collaboration with Bentley. This collaboration is perfect, and I feel that it has done so many things for the collective, and I will tell you exactly why that man will walk a golden path for the rest of his life. And he is not the only one in the content creation world. He is not the only one. So if you're going to go over to his page right now, I think the collaboration with Bentley got like over 500,000 likes. And the collaboration is so well deserved. Like, congratulations to him. This is a perfect example of someone who is being divinely compensated for years of advancing the kingdom. And I will tell you exactly how Gstaad guy has advanced the kingdom. We can talk about the Bentley collab first. I mean, specifically the post that he made after the initial collab post from Bentley. Bentley Motors made a post first, and then he made one. It said like POV. I can pull it up right now, actually. I don't want to misquote him. POV, you played a character on Instagram for 7 years, and now you have your own car with Bentley. I know it's definitely over 300,000 likes now. You can't really see the likes anymore, but the last time that I was able to see the likes, it was over 300,000 likes, over 40,000 shares. So what do you think went through everyone's minds who saw that post? How many rockets of desire do you think he gave people permission to launch with that post, with the entire collaboration? Right? I'll tell you my 2 desires, because I launched 2 rockets of desire when I saw that post. And the first desire that I got from this collab was, just like everyone else's, I'm sure, I immediately began to imagine myself achieving the same thing, or something adjacent. So what would a collaboration with Kalia Transcends and McLaren look like, or Mercedes or Porsche, right? What would a collaboration with Kalia Transcends and Mansory look like, or Koenigsegg, right? Like, why limit it to just cars? What does a collaboration with Kalia Transcends and JetX look like? Amin Gotti is launching in freaking 2027, right? What does that look like? What would a collaboration with Kalia Transcends and One and Only Hospitality Group look like? Because we all know that they're next in line for the whole ocean cruise expansion thing that every hospitality brand is doing right now. And so my mind just continues, right? I mean, Four Seasons is launching a new resort in Saudi. How freaking cool would it be for Four Seasons to interview me and design their presidential suite as a nod to my taste and my legacy? Like, imagine that. You book the Four Seasons. Let me just take you on a journey really quickly. You book the Four Seasons Red Sea Resort, and you check into the presidential suite, and you walk into that suite, and in every detail you see Kalia. The piece of art, the vanilla scented toiletries, or maybe I'd choose something more like fresh or tropical. Let's put a pin in that one. But they use my favorite interior designer. They have my company's mission statement printed subtly in the bottom right corner of the mirror. So as you start your day and you end your day, you're reminded to expand and to improve and to advance the kingdom. Like, could you imagine how cool is that? So in a split second, that's what Gstaad guy gave me permission to do. That's what his post gave me permission to dream of for myself. I wouldn't have dreamt it. I would not have dreamt that for myself that day, at that moment, had it not been for his collaboration with Bentley. I'm not saying I would have never dreamt it, right? Maybe it would have come the next week or the next month or the next year or the next decade. But he quantum leaped me. His manifestation allowed me to dream bigger, allowed me to raise my standard. So can you imagine what everyone else is dreaming of right now? For themselves, for their businesses and their companies. And when those greater desires are birthed, when you raise your standards for what your dreams could look like, everything else just becomes a tool to bring you that desire. Imagine someone whose greatest desire, their biggest goals in life, their main focus, their main priorities in life were to keep the bills paid and to keep their head above water, right? Everything in their life will seem like a trial. It will seem like trials, tribulations, and stepping stones just to get to that desire of survival, just to get to that desire of bills being paid. Because that's your ultimate desire. If that's your ultimate desire, everything in life is going to seem like it's leading up to that all of the time. Every single day is going to feel like a fight to survival level because that's your ultimate. That's your cap. That's your ceiling that you've put on yourself, right? I mean, it will feel like a battlefield simply to just keep your head above water because that's where you've placed your focus. That's where you've placed your greatest desire. Now, imagine the same person sees an entrepreneur, like Gstaad guy. Something might click in their mind when they see that. They might think, and then a desire is birthed that is exponentially greater than that of, bills being paid, right? And when you upgrade your desire, when you 10x your desire, when you expand your capability of dreaming, when you really tap into your imagination and you go so big on your goals, getting the freaking bills paid, it's going to be a prerequisite to everything else that you have in your life. It's going to be on the back burner. It's going to be like automated in the back. It's not necessary to think of anymore. You have bigger fish to fry. Okay? They cannot coexist. So if you hold on to that dream and if you commit to that over focusing on bills being paid, one of them will have to fall away. And which one do you think it's going to be? Which one do you think is going to go into the background? So do we see now why it's important for us to have content creators and people in general sharing their stories as much as possible, to have people, inspiring us, showing us what's possible and showing us what's available in the world, That's why you're divinely compensated, because you're moving us forward. Everyone is so, oh my gosh, this is so good. And I was going to talk about this in its own episode, and I hope this doesn't get too long, but remember, I had to go somewhere and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to take so much gas to get me there. And I immediately stopped what the heck? I'm like, of course it's going to take gas. It takes gas. Gas is a resource and gas is what we need to use. If I need to use the resources to get to where I want to go, then the resources will be available to me. And of course the resources were available. I had the freaking gas. Why am I complaining about it? That's what the gas is there for. It's for your car to be driven. Why am I thinking of this way? Because I have to use resources. We are put on this earth to use resources. God happily gives us these resources perfectly, endlessly, abundantly, immediately. We have these resources available to be used. Why are we thinking of, oh my gosh, why is it a push and pull of a tug of war or this kind of woe is me feeling when we have to use the resources that we've been given? Use the resources. Of course I'm going to use gas. That's what it's here for. That's what it's freaking here for. Of course we're going to spend money. That's what it's freaking here for. Why did I have to use gas? Because I have the desire to go to the mall. Why did I have to spend money? Because I have the desire for X, Y, Z, A, B, C. If I have the desire, the resources are going to show up as long as I'm sure of that desire. How many of us are, think about it. Are you second guessing? Will you be able to get to the store today? Will you be able to get to the mall? If you're second guessing about your gas, you're probably struggling with gas. Or are you not thinking about that because your desires are so much greater, so the gas is always taken care of? I can't tell you the last time I filled up my gas tank. It is always full. Why do I care that it takes this amount of gas to get somewhere? Who cares? I have it, don't I? That's what it's for. So it's just so silly. So yeah, okay. Anyway, I don't know what else. Okay. So Gstaad guy, right? His method was golden, by the way. This is a masterclass in selling transformation, because what did he do? He told us exactly what he's been doing and for how long and the results that he's achieved. And we know the biggest selling point for influencers is obviously comparison. So him titling the photo with the number of years that he's done the content creation, plus adding the transformation. Now every single content creator or aspiring content creator is seeing that post and is thinking to themselves, well, wow, I've been creating content for X amount of years. I'm behind. I've got to turn it up a notch. Or, they could be thinking, I've been creating content for the same amount of time. That means I qualify for this level of success as well. That means that I can have this manifestation too. So what he's just done is he's given who knows how many people, the permission slip to see something like that as possible for them. He's even inspired people to think, well, I don't want to commit to content creation. I don't want to be a part of social media. I don't want to do what he does and be on camera all the time, but I do aspire to achieve this level of success now. How can I maximize my success in my own industry, in my own work, in my own lane, so that I can have these sorts of opportunities as well? Right? Because who wouldn't want a collaboration with Bentley Motors? So he's grabbing the attention of so many different people from so many different, walks of life with so many different levels of ambition. And he's still placing that desire in our hearts. That's the Bentley collaboration. Now let's just talk about who he is as a creator.